Knowles on the News. Susan Knowles.
As usual, it's been another busy week. We have seen so much in the news. It just keeps going and going and going with no end in sight to all the bad news that we're seeing. But I want to start out with something that is not the same type of bad news, but maybe bad news for parents especially. You know, those parents who want the best for their kids and want the best education that money can buy. Those parents that, for example, send their kids to Harvard University or one of their offshoots, Harvard College, something like that. And you know who you are. You're the ones that write those huge checks each year to allow the progressive left to teach your children. You know what I'm talking about. It's a very hard thing to do. You have to get out that checkbook, write that huge amount of money, send it off to the school so your child can be re-educated the progressive left way. Well, I have a bit of good news for you. Instead of paying that big tuition each semester, why not just send your kids to prison? They can have an education in prison. And in fact, perhaps it's even better than what they can get at Harvard. Now let me explain. Back in September, a Eastern New York Correctional Facility invited the Harvard debate team as part of the Bard Prison Initiative, a program run by Bard College to provide college education to qualifying prisoners. They invited them to debate with them. Now, unfortunately, the prisoners couldn't take time out of their busy schedules to go to Harvard, but Harvard went to them instead. And as you might expect, Harvard just beat the pants off of those prisoners. No, they didn't. In fact, it was just the other way around. The prisoners beat the pants off the Harvard College debate team. And they had to, unfortunately, defend a point of view with which they fiercely disagreed, which is really common practice to do in a debate competition. And what they had to debate, this is the prisoners, is that public schools in the United States should have the ability to deny enrollment to undocumented students. And after the debate, one of the prisoners told the Wall Street Journal that he would never want to keep a child from attending school, but that he was certainly grateful for his chance to attend the Bard College in prison. And, you know, I'm sure that we're all happy, and those people in New York who are paying the taxpayer dollars to educate this 31-year-old man who is in prison for manslaughter, couldn't be more thrilled that not only are they writing the big checks to Harvard, but they're also paying taxes so that this guy who committed manslaughter can have an education in prison. Wow, it's a win-win for everyone. Now, the members of the Harvard team said it was a privilege to compete against members of the Bard prison. The group posted that on Facebook and said, there are few teams we are prouder of having lost the debate to than the phenomenally intelligent and articulate team we faced this weekend. And we are incredibly thankful to Bard and the Eastern New York Correctional Facility for the work they do and for organizing this event. Well, you know, perhaps, again, it's so good. Why not send your kids there instead of Harvard? And who knows, once these people get out of prison because they are so intelligent, hopefully they won't just be debating, you know, Harvard teams, but they can actually become great members of society depending on when they get out. But something like this, in my opinion, is just another example of where your dollars, your hard-earned dollars, are going to a progressive program so that prisoners can debate with teams like Harvard. Maybe the Harvard people, while they were there, maybe they learned something that they took away from the prison with them. And my question is, if these people in Bard College prison are so intelligent, how did they get where they are in the first place? Were they not intelligent when they came in and Bard College did such a great job that it turned them around and now they are even smarter than the people that go to Harvard? If that's true, then seriously, start sending your kids to Bard College, because it sounds like you'll probably get a better return on your dollar. In other news, for those people who are living in Detroit, I would start looking for another place to live if I were you. When you erected that statue of Satan in your community, and if you allow it to stand, I personally would not want to be anywhere around that area for any reason. And for those who, in the middle of the night, took down the 10 Commandments under the cover of darkness, really? You had to do that? Well, as I've said on other programs, that just shows you the power of God, that you have to do that in the dead of night to try to hide, to do something that you know was going to bring a lot of attention to you, and something that people did not want to have happen, but you went ahead and you did anyway. I'm not sure I would want to be in that location either, but I am more likely to be there and less likely to be in Detroit. I don't remember a time in our history where we had a community that openly, willingly, and very proudly erected a statue to Satan. Now, I'm not saying that all people in Detroit did that, but whoever was behind that, please don't stand next to me in a lightning storm. I would not want to have anything to do with you whatsoever. Wow, we really do live in such a very strange time. It's something that boggles the mind at times that people could do the things that they do. It's very unfortunate. It's something that we really need to work towards correcting, and you can only do that by turning and humbling yourself before God. Things are getting scarier in this country and around the world, and you're going to need someone, and it hopefully will be God. Until next time, this is Susan Knowles for Knowles on the News.